Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to some more of the beginner series. In this series, we're going to be doing backpacks. So, backpacks, there's some good utility to backpacks. So, like, some of the best mods, like, probably the best mod in the backpack is auto sorting. And that's because auto sorting allows you to use consumables 50% faster and revive teammates 50% faster, which that doesn't matter so much in solo. But this still for solos is super good because it allows you to med up like really fast. If you can get that in conjunction with, I think it's first aid backpack, which is going to be super expensive. Nope, that's not the one. Where is it? Is it first aid layer? That's it. Yeah. See how expensive that is? And it's that expensive because this reduces med time also by another 25%, which means you would use meds 75% faster. So that's really good. So one or the other, you can either get first aid layer or auto sorting. Auto sorting is always going to be more expensive on its own than first aid layer. But first aid layer does give you some reduced damage to your back, which could save you if somebody ambushes you. Rigid backpack is also good because that gives you damage reduction to your back. It can be anywhere from like I think 15 to 25%. It just depends. You just have to keep looking. Some of the ones are set, like first aid layer. I'm pretty sure is always 12%, and stacking guard is somewhat like rigid back, but the damage reduction that you get can only go up to 20 instead of 25, and it's based on how full your backpack is. Not a lot of people run it. Honestly, rigid's way better, and even first aid's better than that. I would say. A lot of people will use light backpack. Light gives you movement speed, but only when you're carrying not a lot. It's good for early game, but once you kill somebody and you throw a bunch of stuff in your backpack, you kind of lose the speed bonus. So it's good for early game, especially if you're like trying to get into position to sniper or something. Another good combo would be rigid pack and smoke. So if somebody you get reduced damage if you get hit in the back, and also if you get hit in the back, it shoots out a big smoke cloud. And if you're using anti-rad, they can't even see you with thermal. But if they're not using thermal, they can't see you anyway through the smoke and allow you to get away. And your likelihood of survival is much higher. So that's a good combination for backs. I would do like auto sorting rigid is a really good combo for backs, just for the damage reduction in your back, the increased med use, and if you're in teams, the faster revival. Uh, Emergency tactics is another good one, because this one increases the healing effect on you whenever you use meds. So you could put that in combination with auto sorting as well, or in combination with first aid layer. Is pretty awesome. Most of these other ones, a lot of people don't really use. Like, I mean, first aid backpack does have its uses if you wanted to use it. So say you have auto sorting first aid. So you'll pick up teammates 50% faster. When you do, you'll automatically use a first aid kit on him, which will heal him up. So he'll be ready to get back into the fight much faster, if you do that. But that's only good for teams. This stat is only good in team games. First aid guide is really good. It's not as good as auto sorting, but in conjunction with auto sorting, you can pick people up like super fast. Like your teammate's down, you're like, and he's up. You heal him like Jesus. You just lay on hands and he's back in the fight. Well, it doesn't heal him. If you could get the combination of like all three of these, first aid backpack, first aid guide, and auto sorting, that would be a god mode backpack for like reviving teammates. You would be the supreme medic on the team. He'd be like, you're up and you're healed. But I don't know if I've ever seen one with all three. So, tier 1 backpacks, you're only going to get like one stat each. And it only holds like, if you go to your warehouse, it only increases, like, see, I'm wearing a tier 3 right now. You get this many consumable slots and this many backpack slots. Each backpack, there's only 3 tiers, gives you a certain amount more. The tier 2 backpack gives you one more equipment slot, and I think maybe two more consumable slots. And then the tier 3 gives you full equipment and full consumable. And that's the only difference between the tiers of backpacks. Um, m- Most people will either run a standard professional backpack or they'll run a T2 with mods. So a lot of people like, because they're cheap. Like I like this one, the tier 2 with mods, the auto sorting, the rigid. Um, but you could sacrifice rigid for smoke instead if you wanted to. That way they shoot you in the back, you get cover, but they could still spray, and if your back is still turned to them, you're not going to get that damage reduction. Or you could just run rigid smoke, which is another cheap, good backpack. Extra damage reduction, and you get hit in the back. Pop smoke, especially if you're running anti-rad, they won't be able to see you, and you could maybe get to cover before they murder you out in the field. Otherwise, some of these other mods, you can look at them. They're not super useful. Like, I guess if you're throwing grenades really fast, express mount could be okay. Portable mount, most people don't keep both their weapons out anyways. So switching between them, like they're mostly dragging from their safe into their main slot, and we'll get over that in some of the gameplay. You'll see me do it a lot if you watch my gameplay. Just the safing of weapons. I'm sure you're familiar. Everybody does it. I wish it was a feature that wasn't in the game, but it is. So, you know, use it. Uh, Equipment holding, tactical holding. These are like their only purpose is to give you more slots with a lower tier backpack. That's all they do. They're really not used that often. Same thing with material holding bag. So if you have like a level 1 bag, you might be able to have like level 3 slots for materials, equipment, or tactical slots in them. Otherwise, not really useful. Uh, and that pretty much covers all the stats for backpacks and their features, the difference between the tiers. So backpacks are relatively simple. You get more slots the higher tier backpack, and you can get more mods as well. Uh, I mean, 3-tiered mods do exist for level 2 backpacks, but they're extremely rare and they're not like made in the game anymore. And people want a lot of money for them, so you're not going to find them. So basically, you can associate these with like 1 extra mod, 2 extra mods, and 3 extra mods, along with more slots. And that's it for backpacks, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.